We are live. What is up? NBA rundown time. And I had a rough evening, Tyler. Came home from work. Ate my food. I forgot to pull down a steak. I'd eat chicken like a peasant. But then I jump on and I don't have any internet. So I missed the whole playback show. It didn't even get turned on till like 8 a.m. this morning. I was worried I was going to miss the show today. So how did it go on playback? What did I miss? Talk to me, Tyler.
It was a fun little hangout. Me, Travis, Megan watched all the games. Just built DFS lineup for the night slate. I didn't do really good. I'm not sure how those two did, but it was fun hanging out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was disappointed. AP, did you have eyes on the game last night? Were you able to see their playback show, and how have things been with you?
Yeah, things have been awesome. Yeah, I mean, I was just watching basketball all night last night. It was a fun night. Fun, those slates are always a ton of fun where we get Milwaukee resting people, and then we can just lock in Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, all those guys. I like those slates. They're easy, and continues to amaze me that no one likes to play our guy Brook Lopez, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to call it right now. I think he has it locked up, and he was like 22% owned. So I mean, yeah, it was a lot of fun, Spread.
Yeah, I definitely missed out. I was sitting at home just feuding with Mikey.
Yeah, all right. We got to talk about this. I've been seeing this. What's the what's the feud between you and Mikey?
Well, it first started because of his just lack of knowledge of history, right? So he starts slandering all the
comment about.
Well, I mean, how old's Mikey? Mikey's like 19, right?
I mean, he looks like 14. I think he's really 25. But go ahead, Tyler. What's your comment?
No, it was, how Gilbert Arenas goes around and does all these interviews. He was like, all the guys back in the 80s always talk about how they can guard these new guys nowadays. He's like, all you guys did was foul back in the day. He goes, we watched you guys when Prototype 1 came into the league, Grant Hill, who couldn't shoot a lick of the basketball, but could go left or right. They didn't know what to do with him. What the hell are they doing with someone like Kevin Durant?
Just waiting for him to miss games. Like, I mean, you have to be on the floor.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're saying your generation is so much better. We have our MVP last night. Oh, MVP. What happens? Oh, one of them decides to sit out.
Yeah, I mean.
So is that the between you and Mikey? Was that the?
That's basically what it starts, right? Like he wants to disrespect the history of the game. He thinks that the only good basketball players have started since 2010.
I mean,
found out that I have an Android.
It's like any other sport. Like as far as like training, our knowledge, our technology, everyone has it like at their disposal to get really good. You see it in golf, you see it in every single sport. So like, I mean, like the debate, you can't like as far as like skills and who's better, it's literally apples to oranges anymore. Like you can't debate that. I do agree with Spread. Like now, like what we saw last night, I was looking forward to this game where it was going to be Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic battling it out. The NBA needed that game. We needed that game. Like, and we don't get it. I mean, I that was very disappointing to me as a fan, and just wanting to see it. Like it's between those two guys for the MVP. Jokic played, Embiid didn't. I don't know. I hate. That's where I'm with you on that, Spread. I absolutely hate that.
I mean, obviously, and I've said it before. The in-between players are way better than when I was a kid, right? Like the sixth man off the bench, your fifth starter. They're way better, right? I mean, I remember there's a guy named Mark Olberding on the Kings when I was a kid, right? I mean, he wouldn't even sniff an NBA court nowadays. But my point is the elite players would still be elite. Right? Like we've still never seen an athlete like Wilt Chamberlain. Never. There's no
that guy comes in next year, Spread.
Victor?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the same like just athletic ability. He's like the best basketball player, but like Wilt was like a sprinter.
Yeah, Wilt was
javelin.
A one of one.
I mean, isn't Giannis kind of a hybrid of that? I mean, Giannis has to be up there.
Yeah,
I kind of classify Giannis as like the new age Shaq.
Shaq.
Like,
Yeah,
he's like a
that's
skinnier, dominant version.
He has so many more skills than Shaq.
I mean, he does, but just the way he plays in today's game nowadays, he's just the dominant force that, like, when he gets going, there is no, let's just, like, all you can do is build a wall. That's the
But
only way
Shaq
to
couldn't
stop
take
it.
the ball coast to coast like he can. Like, Shaq
he was
needed that
younger?
entry pass. He might have done it like twice, but I mean,
yeah, I've seen him take the ball up and down the floor spread, so.
No. I mean, maybe LSU Shaq, but as soon as he got to the league, he got fat. He needed someone to put it in the post for him. So, anyways, that's where it came from. And let me tell you, arguing with Mikey online is much worse than being on playback. I missed you guys last night. I was so disappointed. I was looking forward to it all day. I was telling my buddies at work, I can't wait to get home and jump on. And so it was really a kick in the pants. But at least I get to be here today because when I woke up, I didn't have the internet still. I was worried it wouldn't be on. So we are here. Tyler, a rough night for us, huh?
Yep.
So what happened? You were watching all the games. I had some of them on.
Well, I wasn't in control of the remote last night, so we were watching one game spread. We weren't doing the bounce from game to game.
Well, what game did you guys have on last night?
That's disappointing.
The Philly-Denver game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I watched that one too, but it was tough to have like real takeaways since Philly wasn't at full strength. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, Tyrese Maxey was balling. Denver's defense, when it comes to the playoffs, is going to be a huge problem, but all of us already knew that. And, I mean, Jokic is Jokic. When Denver's offense is going, you just kind of put the seatbelt on and pray to God that you're not down 40 when they're done.
How about Paul Reed, too? I was really impressed. I mean, he was a problem in the third quarter there. Like, he didn't do much in the first half, but he came alive. I mean, it seems like they really struggle with these kind of small, undersized mobile bigs. I mean, that's kind of how I would describe Paul Reed, right? Like a stretch for. I mean, I don't think he can shoot three balls, but he's how tall is that guy? I mean, he's definitely
I think he's only like 6'9".
Yeah.
So he's definitely an undersized big. There's your favorite.
Oh, we got Mikey in the chat. Let's go, Mikey.
Oh, good morning, Mikey. How are you today? Oh, it's afternoon for you. Glad to see you. Slandering me for my aunt and for having an Android. Tyler, so I don't know if you know, but I have Dish Network, so when I watch the Kings, I have to stream it, which is one of the reasons I do like playback because I don't have to use those stupid Reddit streams. So I didn't get to see the game at all. What happened? Did you guys watch any of it?
No, I didn't catch any of the Kings game.
I can't believe we lost to the T-Wolves, man. Are they actually good? Like Gobert's getting buckets
they're
on
not
us?
actually good. Don't try and sell yourself that.
What happened? AP, did you see my Kings, and are the Timberwolves actually good?
So Timberwolves games for me are blacked out, and I could jump
so we're both blacked out? Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. So I mean, if they're on ESPN, I'll watch them, but outside of that, I don't get to see Ant play too often.
Well, okay, that's disappointing. I'm trying to think what else we had our eyes on. We should have bet Dallas, right, Tyler? I mean, I was stupid for not RPB in that one. That was an easy win. And then what was the other one that was really disappointing?
Done taking Utah spread.
I thought.
Yeah, that's my fault.
I mean, what did the line move to when Luka got ruled in?
4.
That was it. I mean, yeah, hindsight's always 20/20. I don't think it's like that easy of a bet just because of like how bad Dallas has been. But once when Halliburton got ruled out, we should have hopped all over that.
I was all over Dallas with Luka being suspended because I think they work better with one star than two. The moment he was rolled back in, I kind of backed off. You
kind of saw that yesterday too. Like Kyrie, like Luka kind of took a back seat in the first quarter. Kyrie did his thing. Luka came in. When Luka came back in the second, Kyrie kind of took a back seat. Luka did his thing. So I agree with you. They're going to take from each other too. They're very tough DFS plays right now.
Yeah. It also seemed like Rick Carlisle was selling out to stop Luka. Like they were almost running a box and one on him and doubling in that first quarter.
Well, yeah, they're not fans of each other, right?
No.
What was my other point from that game? Oh, I would hope that they don't double down on their mistake and they just let Kyrie walk. I mean, it's only one first-round pick, and I know they gave up 2 serviceable role players, Dorian Finney-Smith being the most.
How do you sell that to your star player who's already frustrated, though? We're going to let the one guy walk we just traded for.
I don't think he's going to have too many problems with it.
Yeah,
you gotta someone else. This isn't working.
If you're Dallas, you got to do everything you can to keep Luka, keep him happy, keep him there. I mean,
no, I agree, but it's just one of those things. The dude was already frustrated, and now you got to try and sell him on we picked the wrong guy. We're gonna let him walk, and we're gonna try and get you someone else. It worked with Dirk, and Dirk hung around, but that was a different age NBA. This dude is gonna demand his way to Denver eventually. He's gonna want to go play with Jokic.
You think so?
Yes.
That would be sweet. All right.
That would be pretty sweet, actually. But they're both distributors, though. You know what I mean? I don't know. They would definitely find a way.
They would figure it out, but it would.
Yeah.
I think at first you just get a lot of passing. No one would want to shoot the ball.
Mikey, I prefer the term overrated. How about that?
What about I'm trying to think who would fit best. He needs a bunch of Klay Thompson types.
He needs shooters, and then he needs a big, an Evan Mobley. He needs a forward.
If you could drop him on the Nets right now, it would be perfect. But he would gut that roster to get there.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to dive into tonight's slate? How's the news looking, AP? Are we going to be able to build lineups earlier, or is it a wait for the news day?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it right now, we the Charlotte news we have Terry Rozier's out again, Mark Williams out. They're going to rotate their bigs there. Gordon Hayward's doubtful. Memphis too. John Morant's doubtful. So it's going to be one of those spots where we can just lock in Tyus in a great spot against Orlando. I mean, we have a lot of news. Jared Allen's questionable. I think that's semi-relevant. Daniel Gafford's questionable. Brad Beal and Kyle Kuzma's out. So that's kind of important because they've been with Porzingis. I mean, there's that game that they had. It was a close game, and he didn't play the entire fourth quarter. I couldn't understand it. But I think we have most of the news that we're looking for. Shea questionable. Kelly Oubre questionable in the later parts of the slate. But that's about it.
Did you see the news about the bigs for Charlotte? How they're going to do this the rest of the year?
Yeah, they're going to rotate 3 of them, Kai Jones,
Mark
Nick
Williams, and Richards. We get Richards and Kai Jones tonight.
Yeah, so that'll be nice. I mean, nice for Nick Richards. Price is nice there too. So it looks like another good slate. I mean, all of these slates going up to the playoffs are just trying to understand and find these spots where it's just you got to lock in these guys. We saw with the Bucks yesterday, and I'm telling you, they all got ownership, but not many people were just fully stacking them up, which I thought was the right path yesterday. So we're going to get a few spots like that tonight. I think Memphis is going to be, Tyus Jones, absolute lock. I think you're going to get a few Hornets players in a good matchup against OKC that we can target. So it's going to be a fun slate.
All right, well, let's dive right in. Kyler, we're having our worst month of the year, right? So we got to get back. We got to get back today. No more waiting around. So I'm going to be relying on you heavily as we break down these games. But I'll tell you what, maybe it's because we don't like double-digit spreads, right? And it just feels like we have more and more of them. And they've been tough to predict, right? Did the Pistons end up covering yesterday, right?
I think they covered by half a point when you got to the last number of 11.5, because it started at 17 when the guys were in.
Yeah.
So if you got that number, you were sitting great. But as Giannis and the Holiday were rolled out, I think it fell to 11. I think they won by 10 or 11, so you got hooked in the end.
And when you're struggling, I think
we're done with the tanking teams too.
Yeah, you need to pinpoint where are we getting things wrong? What is our weakness? What's our Achilles heel? Where's
the teams on the outside of the play-in looking in as underdogs? No more. That's my guess. That's one thing I'm going to pin down. I think because
to be fair, and I'm defending my Jazz pick, which I know ended up being a bad pick, right? But it looked like they were going for it when they played Markkanen. We actually got CLV on 2 of the bets.
I know. It's just like those teams on the outside looking in. I just don't trust them. Even in a game where it's like, all right, we're down 10 now. It's like, just wave the white flag. We're done here. Like, they're not going for it as hard as these other teams are.
Yeah, and you know what? Traditionally, I've done well during this course of the season, right? I feel like the model's dialing in at this point.
I brought up your flat lottery thing to Travis. He said that also was a flat out disaster waiting to happen.
Why?
And we both said the same thing. It's like when you have teams that are hanging on to these last couple play-in spots that are just injured coming into it, or just guys are banged up. They wave the white flag and they're like, all right, we're just going to go into the lottery. They land the first pick. Like, say the Clippers do that right now.
That would be great. Wouldn't you rather see Wembanyama on a real franchise than have him go to Charlotte?
You say that now until they rip off 5 championships in a row. And you're like, oh, we got a new LA villain that's just taking all the championships and Sacramento can't win anything.
Well, Sacramento's never going to win anything, Tyler, so that's not going to help me there. All right, AP, what do you think? I propose a flat lottery. 14 ping pong balls total. Doesn't matter if you miss the playoffs, you're in the lottery.
I mean,
Tyler,
yeah, that makes
against it.
I don't know. I don't have the right. I don't know. I mean, whatever is going on right now, like obviously isn't working. Trying to prevent tanking teams. I don't know. I don't really have a good solution for it. So,
yeah.
I think if you're going to flatten out the lottery spread, you take the bottom 4 teams who are the bottom 4 right now by a good margin, and they play like our guy Travis said last night, the Turd Bowl. They go out, and whoever wins that little tournament of 4 games gets the first pick. So it'd be Houston, San Antonio, Charlotte, and Detroit right now. And you just leave out all the other teams and you do the lottery with those teams. I think that's the best way to do it. Because the teams with 30 wins, they look at those other teams. You're not getting down into that tanking area. So just losing games at that point means nothing to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
I also think we can't be like too afraid of these like big spreads at times. Like, and we got to just look at the matchups, look at the situation, and, go with it. Like, I think Boston at Washington is a good example. Boston should easily win this game by 20 plus. Like, look at the teams like right next to each other, and look at who they have. Like, tell me Boston doesn't win by 30 tonight. Like, and you just got to roll with it. Like, I think they win by 20, 30 points. I think they roll them. I don't see a world where with how Boston is playing right now, they're dialed. You got Bob Williams coming off the bench, which just makes it even tougher on these second units. I mean, throw even like a Sam Hauser. Like, we saw Sam Hauser started last game. They still won by like 30 points. So like, I just think we can't be afraid of some of these double-digit spreads. Like, the Wizards absolutely suck. Porzingis isn't even playing heavy minutes. He's the only guy that can get buckets, and he's not even that good at that at times. So it's like it's gonna be like Jordan Goodwin in there. Johnny Davis is gonna get some run. Denny Avdia, Corey Kispert against Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Horford, Brogdon, and Bob Williams. I mean, sign me up for Boston tonight. They're gonna smoke them by like 30.
All right.
I'm going to second everything he said, spread, because they are going to smash tonight. Boston by at least 15. We're laying the 11.
I mean, should I just do it right now? Is there any chance the line?
Yeah, I'm going to put it on the sheet for myself.
If he wasn't doing it, spread, it was going on there. So.
All right. Well, that's why I need your guys' help, because I'll tell you what, I hate laying double digits on the road.
I do too, but it's like we got to just. But is it really like? Yeah, it's a road game, but. The Wizards don't care about this game. Like, their fans don't care about this game. No one's going to be there. Boston's just going to show up and smoke them. And I mean, and here's the other difference too. It's like middle of the season, this could be a game where Boston lays down. They don't show up. They're not playing. Like, you see it all the time. We're what, 7 games, 8 games out now, or less than that? Do you guys know how many games they have left? I mean, Boston,
eight games. Most teams have about 8 games left.
Boston's, they look so dialed right now. Like, yeah, they're just they're gonna smoke this Wizards team.
All right. So you guys both like laying the points there. AP, talk to me about how you're looking at this game when making the lineup, because it's the dreaded standalone, right? It's the only game, right? Lock happens at 4. This game or 7 for you guys. 7:10 tip off. But we're afraid because we might not have news in all these other games, so we don't want to use too many spots, right?
Yeah. I mean, at this point of the season, honestly, I might just full fade this game. I can't tell you how many times, like I've rostered a couple Wizards guys, like Porzingis, whoever, and I can't tell you how many times at the end of the night I'm like, I should have just kicked myself in the nuts over rostering these bums. Like, they don't play with pace. Like, they don't. There's nothing. Like the Wizards for me is a full fade, and then Tatum's back. It's going to take away from Brown. Derek White, Marcus Smart are kind of splitting like run and point. We saw 2 games ago. I was surprised at how much Derek White was running the offense, and then the very next game, Marcus Smart was, and then they were kind of switching off back and forth. And then it's with Boston, like 1 through 4, any of those guys can run point, can run the offense. And then you got Brogdon coming off the bench too. So like, I don't feel the need to play any of these guys. I might just full fade this game and reevaluate at the next lock periods.
All right, and that's fine. Sometimes I do think that's easier as well, because it just sucks when you could have had the perfect build, but you locked in like a shooting guard in this game, right? So that's the way that we'll be looking tonight. But of course, it's NBA DFS and anything can happen, which is why I love to have the experts at Run Pure Sports on my side. With the Up to Lock show, the cores coming up, half hour before lock.
Spread. So like, imagine if like Kelly Oubre gets ruled out and then Shea gets ruled out too. You're going to want those roster spots open for that game that starts an hour after this Wizards Boston game starts. So, and then imagine if like then Jared Allen gets ruled out. Mobley's been an absolute beast right now. Chetty Osman would get more run. So it's like, you got to always be looking at what injury news is are we waiting on? And you got to put a value on that. There is a value to waiting for that news versus like locking in players earlier. Yesterday's slate is the exception. Yesterday's slate, you had to play early guys. Like, you had to. It just was a different slate. Tonight's slate, I don't think it's the case. I think you full fade the first game and move on.
All right, we're going to fade the first game, and that gives us more time, which means we should have a fun Up to Lock show, right? Because that means they won't be going off the air at 7. They'll be sticking around, waiting for these starting lineups to get announced, and that always leads to some hijinks.
I think most of our members are familiar with this now, but you make a good point. Might be 30 minutes of story time tonight, but just keep in mind, there's a reason behind that.
Yeah, they're killing time for these starting lineups and the news that we need. So, and it can usually lead to some fun stuff, right? So, of course, you're going to want to be a member to take advantage of that. RunPureSports.com. We'll all give out our promo codes with the best bet. But if you just can't wait, promo code SPREAD15 get you 15% off your first month's membership. The Miami Heat plus 3.5 in Toronto, taking on the Raptors, total 220. Tyler, 2 teams that I've struggled with over the last month. The Heat and the Raptors. I can't seem to get these teams right. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they going to play hard? What do you think? How do you think things are going to go when Miami travels to Canada to take on the Heat? To take on the Raptors tonight.
I'm on the Raptors here. I think they match up very well here. They have the big and total now to combat with Bam down there. They have a ton of wings that they can throw Jimmy Butler's way. Scotty Barnes isn't on this injury report. Looks like he's going to play. Gary Trent's questionable. Barton and Wisekamp are doubtful. Not really worried about the other 2 as much. If Gary Trent misses, that kind of pushes more usage towards Van Fleet and these guys. And Anunoby's another guy that can cover Jimmy Butler. The Raptors have been a tank at home, and we're basically getting this a little cheaper too. I'm on the Raptors. I think they smash the spot. I think they put it on the Heat. I'm still not sold on the Heat. I know they've won games, but I think this is the Raptor spot.
All right. Tyler likes Toronto at home, and Toronto at home has traditionally been a great bet. AP, not so much this year. But we can go ahead and hope to get back on track with that tonight. Do you agree with Tyler? Do you like Toronto here? And I know that these are two teams that have been tough to figure out DFS wise this season as well.
I mean, I do, and the reason I'm still kind of tilted by this, I guess I had $100 credit with Kurt, so we fired it on a bunch of like 5 or 6 money line teams. One of them was just we needed the Heat to win over the Nets. I was like, man, they match up so good. There's no way that the Heat are losing at home. An important game. It was a very, very important game. Like the Heat were the 6th seed, Nets 7th seed. And Nets were half game behind. So now that's flip-flop because Nets got that win. I mean, what an embarrassing second half. Like the Nets just poured it on, ended up winning by what, like 30 or no, 29. They were up by 32 at one point, and they were down 14 in that game. I mean, just embarrassing. I'm with Tyler on this one. I hate these teams. I hate betting on them, but if I had to bet this game, it would be on the Toronto side. With Pirtle in there, I think it does make a big difference. OG played good last game. Should have Scotty Barnes tonight, Siakam, Fred VanVleet. Yeah, sign me up for the Raptors tonight.
All right.
Yeah, DFS-wise, this is another game. I'm up. Like, screw this game. Like, there's very few players I'm excited about playing in this game with the Raptors healthy. I mean, Jimmy Butler in games that are important, I like playing him. Yesterday or that last game, man, like that was a very important game. I can't believe like Jimmy was very disappointing. So very frustrating roster. I might just say screw it, fade this game, and move on.
All right.
Hopefully we have a bunch of other games to target because that's what is it, a 6-game slate, and I'm fading 2 games already. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, like you said, you're giving yourself leverage if late news does hit. The Cleveland Cavaliers -1 in Atlanta, taking on the Hawks. Tyler, I'm surprised the spread is so low. And I'm not seeing, I mean, Jared Allen questionable.
Wait, hold on. Spread, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you think the spread should be?
Like -3?
For who?
For Atlanta?
For Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland. All right. Whew. All right, good. We're on the same page. We're definitely on the same page. I thought you were going to say for Atlanta.
No. I thought Cleveland would be slightly more favored here on the road. I mean, I know Atlanta's playing a little better, but Cleveland's just head and shoulders better than
Atlanta
match up well.
I'm looking at the opening line. They opened as favorites, right? -1. Is that what you guys are seeing?
I don't have the opener. I'm just going off what it says right now. But I'm not seeing any news here that would push this, Tyler. What am I missing, and why is Atlanta taking money?
You're missing the fact that Cleveland is not the same team they are at home on the road.
Okay.
Well, that's been noticeable all year. They've struggled on the road a lot worse than they've done at home. And it's the Hawks team where their guards can match up with Cleveland and go blow for blow with them. Like, if Garland and Mitchell get hot, Young and Murray could do the same thing on the other side. If Allen misses, it's all right. Now it's basically the mirrored image of both teams. 2 guards, 1 big on both sides. The wings on neither side are really all that good. And you just kind of go to battle. So that's why I think the spread's 1. It's pick the winner, and I'm going to take the home team here. I'm going to take Atlanta. I'm not very confident in it. I like some other spots on this board more, but I just don't like taking Cleveland on the road. So I'm going to take Atlanta in this spot.
All right. Yeah, I was disappointed when I took Atlanta at home against Memphis, so maybe I'm overreacting to that. AP, what are your thoughts here?
I mean, I do got to say, like I agree with Tyler in the regular season, but when you go into Brooklyn and this team, like this Nets team right now, like we've been saying, they can steal some wins with the 3-ball and without like McHale's playing and everything. You go in there and back-to-back beat them twice. That's tough to do, really tough. So like when I'm looking at it, Tyler, like the Cavs have 4 road wins in a row. They're 5-1 over their last. They took Boston down to the last few possessions. I don't know, man. I like how if Jared Allen's in, I love the Cavs here. They're just a team that late season right now I've been trying to be on more and bet on more. And so I like the spot right now against Atlanta. We need Allen in there. If Jared Allen isn't in there, that's definitely going to hurt them. But with Allen in there, I think it just makes it so tough with him and Mobley. And then you got Donovan Mitchell against his former coach, Quinn Snyder. So maybe he's a little motivated to own him there. So give me the Cavs -1 tonight in Atlanta.
I will say, if we get Jared Allen, I will flip-flop to the Cavs. Because then it's all right. You have the multiple bigs. It's a little bit different of a setup. If they're just mirror images of each other out there tonight, I kind of like the home team.
I think we can all agree on the under in this game, right? Is that what you were saying?
I'm pumping them in right now. Pumping these numbers in. Right
I mean,
now.
a 240
start with my internet being out.
240 total in a Cleveland game. Whew, that's
having these Atlanta
that's a big number.
Buku though.
Having the who's the Hawks?
Atlanta scores, yeah.
Yeah, they're playing with a ton of pace right now. So
that's my only worry. Is that they just turn this into a track fest. And it's like, all right, we're just gonna run.
Yeah.
A lot of that has
to slowest teams in the league all year. It's really going to be who's going to be able to dictate the pace.
A lot of it has to do with how, like, I know none of us probably like the guy, but John Collins, how he's been playing. I mean, sprinting down the court, trying to get transition buckets. That's why he's been a little bit better too.
Yeah, well, he's got to do anything.
He waited after the trade deadline to step his effort up. They were trying to trade him for 3 years, and he's just never showed any effort.
He wanted a max deal, right? Then he want like a super max deal is what he wanted.
No way.
Yeah, I swear, I think he did. We the people knows. I know.
I mean, I want one too, but I mean, I don't think that either of us are going to get him. Yeah,
he makes a good point too. Pace won't matter because Cleveland bigs slow down transition. Yeah,
but if it's just Mobley out there, doesn't it worry you that Mobley's a younger kid, could play in an up-tempo game, and they just kind of run? Like, if they're both out there, I agree it slows down everything, but one guy kind of worries me.
Yeah, if it's just one and you get more like a Chetty Osman type, then yeah, I could see that.
All right, so that should be a fun game for us. Of course, we're going to be on playback again. I mean, I'm not going to be on, right? But there's going to be a team on tonight, AP?
Yes, Monday through Thursdays, I believe.
Yeah, so that should be a lot of fun, and I'll jump in the chat and have some fun.
Matty, I just want the vet men. I'll sign up for that too.
Yeah.
I'll take the vet men.
Sign me up.
And just looking at some trends in this matchup, the Hawks have had the better of this Cleveland team. They're 5-1 straight up and ATS in their last 6 matchups, and they're 5-1 straight up in the last 6 matchups where Cleveland had to come to Atlanta.
One more time on the 5-1.
They're 5-1 straight up in ATS in the last 6 matchups, and they're 5-1 straight up in the last 6 matchups that were played in Atlanta.
Making some good arguments there.
So people pounded the overs in this game because, like, I'm looking at, like, had to open around 237, now 240.
I think there's a lot of people like Tyler and I that just don't want to play unders. I mean, Tyler and I were talking about it. You just feel more stupid when you bet an NBA under, it feels like.
But I feel like now is like the time because we're going to see these games. Once we get into the playoffs, we're very close. It turns fast. Like, I'm going to be looking at these total lines like in that first round. There's going to be matchups we can pounce on where we just hammer the under. I mean, it never feels comfortable. I'm with you. It never, ever feels comfortable, but 240 in a Cleveland game seems pretty wild to me.
I'm hand in hand with you come playoffs. My biggest worry nowadays with the way the NBA's played, even when these bench guys are in, the only thing they're doing is hucking threes.
Yeah.
Like, you're sitting on an under in the fourth quarter in a blowout, and you got it won by about 40 points. You're like, I'm safe. Here comes all the reserves. Oh, they're hucking threes. Oh, it goes over by 10 points. Yeah.
Scrub on scrub all-star game. It is funny.
Shooting threes. It's like, oh, God, here we go.
Oh, hey, important news just dropped. Ben Simmons to miss the remainder of the season. There you go, guys.
That's big.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I mean, give me rookie Ben Simmons with this team right now, and I think they're fun. I do. Like, if you think about rookie year, Ben Simmons was just aggressive, pushing it, could run point.
Yeah.
But the Ben Simmons right now, no way. Absolutely no way.
Yeah, I mean, if I were the owners, I'd be going to the CBA and saying, we got to do something about these guaranteed contracts. I mean, you should be able to get rid of one a year with no salary cap implications.
Name a greater downfall. I mean,
That's a good question.
Does Jamarcus Russell count?
Probably. OJ Mayo, you'd have to put
OJ
him
Mayo
up there.
yeah.
Tyreek Evans won Rookie of the Year and they got banned from the league.
I mean, the problem with Mayo is like those ESPN articles that came out right away. It was like the next LeBron James. Like, you don't do that to a kid. That's like, I mean, God.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Another great downfall. I mean, there's got to be some, right? Josh Primo, not a good career for him. I'm trying to think of people who got arrested.
Up those spread? Was he ever up the tier? Like, he got drafted, so he was like in the middle.
I mean, you know how hard it is to get cut as a lottery pick?
Marvin Bagley. No, Bagley's starting to come back. He's
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter what they're playing for right now, but
I'm trying to think. I mean, Aaron Hernandez. That's probably a greater
Huskers. There you go, Jabroni, Clyde. Huskers. I'll agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we won't do any more time on great downfalls. We'll move on to the next game. Oh, this is a fun one, Tyler. The Charlotte Hornets are plus 10.5. They're in Oklahoma City. They're taking on the Thunder. The total's 230. Your thoughts?
I don't think we can bet this game until we get the news.
And we'll wait on what, SGA?
Yeah, I don't want to back a Thunder team without SGA, especially at double digits. But if he's in there, I'm laying up to at least 12 in this matchup. I think Charlotte's just out there running around. They're going to put out good DFS.
Are they running around tricking us all?
Yeah, and I think they're just running. They're putting out guys on the floor that are just not winning basketball games. Yeah, they won the couple recently, but I just don't think they match up well. I don't think they match up well here. And it's Dallas too. Dallas sucks. And now they're gonna play this OKC team. I think OKC puts it on them here. So as long as SGA's in, I'm on OKC.
Oh my gosh. And we have Glock coming on tomorrow. Unbelievable, Tyler. This is not gonna be a fun show. AP, talk to me about this game between Charlotte and OKC.
Yeah, so the big thing here too is the games against Dallas. You had PJ Washington playing really good, Gordon Hayward actually playing really good, and then obviously Dennis Smith. But we could be without Gordon Hayward's doubtful, so likely out, and then no Kelly Oubre, which obviously would be a huge hit too. So, OKC's tough at home too. I mean, it seems wild to me that we'd be betting like a double-digit OKC team as favorites. But if Shea plays, I don't see how the Hornets keep this one close. Honestly, it should be like 12 or 13. I think those two games against Dallas maybe has something to do with the line here. This is a tough game to bet. So, like, again, I'm with you guys. We don't want to be afraid of these double-digit lines, but do I really want to have like 2 or 3 in my portfolio on tonight's card? No, I think I side with Boston. So Boston's the one I feel more comfortable with. I'll lay off this game and, more so target this game in DFS. Like, I think Svi is going to be a good play. Dennis Smith is priced way up. Not so much of a guy that we need to play. I actually think maybe Bryce McGowan's in multi-entry formats could especially if with Gordon Hayward doubtful and Kelly Oubre questionable, Bryce McGowan's is going to be a guy that I definitely look at tonight. And I would be looking at like Teo Maledon. Obviously, we get a little revenge factor against his former team. I believe he played for OKC.
Yeah, he did.
I think this game DFS wise is going to be one that I have some interest in.
All right, yeah, and we will be
just
waiting.
To talk about the futures market real quick. How do you feel about the most improved player market right now, AP? They got Markkanen at like minus 300. SGA's hanging out at about plus 300. I think those odds should probably be flip-flopped, seeing as though one's in the playoffs, averaging 30 points. The other guy's hanging out on the outside and missed recent games.
Yeah, SGA's missed games too, though.
Yeah, but Markkanen's missed a stretch towards the end of the year. That's usually when odds start to shift.
Yeah,
I mean, our boy JSU was talking about SGA in the MVP category. So I mean, and we're just talking. We were talking real basketball when we were talking about that. SGA has been incredible. he's always been pretty incredible. I think like you got to think like Chris Paul being there had to really help his game for what was that 1 year or 2 years? Can't remember now how many years he was in OKC, but I mean Shea is incredible. I think it's going to be tough to take it away from Lauri Markkanen though, just with how much he shined on that team this year. I think it's really going to be tough. Even like playoffs aside, like I don't like playoffs isn't really something that they factor in to that award, right?
No,
I guess I don't
know because it's voted on the day the season ends. Yeah.
I get your point though. I mean, it's he has to be right up there. Who's third on that list?
Third, I believe, is Brunson. Let me get it pulled up. I think third is just so far behind too. I think it's like those two.
Yeah, that's a good question though. Who is third?
Yeah, and I mean Jalen Brunson. I mean, how like he's a stud. Like I wouldn't put him in the most like improved. Okay, because we saw him in the playoffs when Luka had to sit those games. Like we knew what Brunson could do. Mavs fans probably want him back.
And then they're sneaking Mikal Bridges in there at 65-1.
Yeah. I mean, Mikal might be more of a target for next year, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree there.
All right.
I mean, get Mikal some size and like, isn't that like I've been trying to think of what he because he's incredible. Don't you think out like you get him a little more size, maybe 10, 15 more pounds, then he could actually get to the rim a little bit easier, you'd think. Like that's the thing that I think he needs.
Yeah. Sometimes on those frames, it's hard to put weight on, right, Tyler?
Yeah. I try.
Hey, Steph Curry did it. Steph Curry didn't he put on like 15 pounds?
You look at him at Davidson. He's like Durant levels.
I need to call up Steph Curry and figure out how he put those 15 pounds on.
Well, bro, he lifts like 6 times a week.
Yeah.
They said he's really strong, actually.
But back to SGA, I mean, can we just imagine if this dude was able to shoot threes? He'd be the best point guard in the league.
I think he's like the most fun.
No one's ever going to be better than Steph till he retires.
Yeah,
right, Tyler? Do you agree with me there at least?
Till he retires. I mean, there's going to be 4 years towards the end where he's just a corner three-point shooter, but
I don't know. Do you think he's going to go out like that?
I think eventually he slowly transitions to off-ball more, and the movement slows down, and he's just kind of hanging out in the corner.
I mean, he's going to extend now.
He's going to extend his career an extra 3 to 4 years doing that.
You think so?
Yes.
I hope he does.
Just imagine he goes into the Ray Allen role where it's just like, I'm going to hang out and just shoot threes and play some defense.
Oh, please don't do that. Just retire. All right. The Orlando Magic are plus 6.5. They're in Memphis. They're taking on the Grizzlies. Total of 228.5. Tyler, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but I want the Grizzlies.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the easiest one on the board. The Grizzlies are at home where they absolutely dominate teams. I believe they're like 30-5.
32-5 at home.
Yeah. So you just look at this. It's the Magic we're talking about. Even with Ja doubtful, you're going to get Tyus Jones on the floor and the rest of the Grizzlies out there. I think they walk this team right off the floor by at least 20. So
Ja's doubtful?
Ja's not playing tonight.
Oh my gosh! I just sent an article out that he was going to be in. Oh well, that helps the prop. I gave out Jaren Jackson Jr. over. This was to me the easiest one on the board. Even though the Magic have won 3 games in a row, what are your thoughts, AP?
I mean, first off, Carlos, appreciate the comment in chat, but I could not disagree with you more. Like, yeah, it's not football, but like you need size in the NBA. Look what Zion does. Like Zion, like. That's it. Like Zion, just impossible to. And I'm not saying he needs to be Zion size, but like look at all of these guys. Curry put on 15 pounds, 20 pounds. Did that make him any less explosive? No, not at all. So when I'm talking size, I'm not talking like me size, getting fatter that I do, like which is what happens every NBA season. I mean, Tyler, if you want to put on weight, I'll show you my track all this stuff.
Am I coming to Nebraska to hang out with you for NBA season?
In NFL to NBA season, I average put it on 15 to 20 pounds, and then I always take it off. It's like a cycle like this.
I need your diet for NFL and NBA season. AP.
Oh, it's sit on your ass, watch games, drink a lot of beer.
I think you need some more bourbon in there. You need some more
bourbon.
Putting the beer down.
Yeah.
Oh, I transitioned to bourbon right now because it's like, okay, I always get to this point and I'm like, oh God, now I gotta put the work in the gym, and then I go whiskey and water is now my new drink. But
there you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, on your size comment, there's a couple players on our favorite team, Tyler. Well, not our favorite team, but our two favorite rookies, the Rockets, right? Şengün, he needs some more size to get down low. It's going to make him a better defender. And you look at Jabari Smith. He's a guy that looks like he's going to add it, though, like the way he is.
I think it's you got to find that sweet spot with everybody. Like, not every guy needs to put on the weight. Certain guys do. Like, I'll argue Anthony Davis should have never put on as much weight as he did. I think that's what's done the injuries to him a lot. If he would have stayed more on the lean side, he wouldn't have dealt with as much injuries. Maybe wouldn't have been able to bang in the post as much, but that's not something he wants to do anyway. He wants to play more out on the perimeter. So I think weight to him hurt his career in the long run.
All right. Hit that.
I meant it. Yeah, I meant it from like if you want to be like, when you look at LeBron, when you look at these guys that you're often getting to the line. That's what a lot of these guys do when they're having an off night shooting.
Yeah,
they know how to get to the line. They know how to get to the rim.
Through contact is what you're talking about. You have to be strong to finish through contact. Yeah.
That's what I was saying with Mikal Bridges, because when I looked at his game, it's like, what could he improve on? He's good at so many different things, but how does he get to that all-star level? Seems like he just needs some size. That's all I was saying. But to this game, I'm with Tyler. I love the Grizzlies side. I don't think the drop-off is like that crazy. I mean, I got to be careful with this. Tyus more of a game manager. I mean, Ja's incredible. Obviously, just watching him. I like him out off the bench, too. Like, the Grizzlies can do so much with this team just because they have such a fundamentally sound point guard in Tyus Jones backing it up. And then Desmond Bane's starting to play good. Jaren Jackson has been playing really good. Give me the Grizzlies all day, -7. I think they win by double digits as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like DFS. So we saw, so Jalen Suggs has been out for a little while. I don't know if we'll need it, but like in multi-entry formats, I could see him coming in and playing like 25, 26, 30 minutes, something like that.
I mean, from a DFS perspective, the Magic have been tough lately. If you're a Magic fan, you got to love it, right? I think in their last win, who did they win? We lost that bet, right, Tyler? They beat the Nets.
They beat the Nets.
They had like 6 players that score over 10 points, right? So for DFS, we don't like that. But if you're a Magic fan, they're developing the teams properly. What's up?
We got beat by the Wagner brothers that night.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good. I think there's a Wagner brother that made a good symphony that you probably don't like. I want to talk about this, though, since we're bouncing around. KD did put on weight, right? Look at him in that Supersonics jersey. He probably put on 15 pounds, I'd say, since his rookie year. And that's what I'm talking about with Jabari Smith. He's still going to look thin. Smith will, but he needs a little bit more. So, but it's fine. I mean, these are all just things that we like to debate about. So, anything more on the Magic and the Grizzlies, AP?
No, not for me. But in DFS, all right. So DFS wise, I mean, Tyus is an absolute lock tonight. And Desmond Bane's too cheap, too. So, going to be some good plays in this game.
All right. Tyus is a lock. Love to hear that. Like I said, I did bet the Jaren Jackson over on points. He's gone over 5 of his last 7 games. Over those 7 games, he's averaging 26 a game.
One last thing, too. I actually like this. So, one thing about Orlando, I don't have when I was doing the flow chart. So, they're still struggling, like leaving shooters wide open. And you saw it with like Mikal. I think Mikal went off last game against them. And so Luke Kennard off the bench, he's come in and he's just been an absolute flamethrower.
Didn't he have 30 in the last game?
Yeah. He could easily like have a big game.
He's always been a shooter. Yeah.
Mr. Ohio basketball 2-time.
They're talking about Desmond Bane in the chat. AP, have you ever worked out with someone like Desmond Bane? It just pisses you off. They can bench so much because it like barely moves. Like they're like throwing an extra plate on, and you're like, bro, like you're moving it like less than a foot. I mean,
Bane definitely. I mean,
I can imagine him being able to bench just like
he looks like a football player. I'll say that.
Yeah. All right. The final game of the night, Tyler. The New Orleans Pelicans catching 8.5 against the Warriors. The Warriors lit us down against the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves on their Kill Tyler and Spread revenge tour right now as we keep fading them on the road. not only do they cover, they're winning straight up. They beat the Warriors straight up, and that was on Sunday, I believe. The Pelicans are coming off that destruction of the Portland Trailblazers, who have completely given up on the season. Now the Pelicans catch 8.5 against Golden State. Okay, so Tyler, you're telling me like don't take the points here with these tanking teams, but the Pelicans don't count, right? They're making a push, right? They've won 5 in a row. I could take the points here, right?
Yeah, I mean they're also the 8th seed in the West. They're not on the outside of the play-in looking in.
Okay.
And I just want to check these minutes log from last night. Brandon Ingram played 31, Joe Val played 30, Murphy played 28, CJ McCollum played 25. I doubt you see any of those guys sit here. I'm not as sold on this Warriors team as we were before. It still is a home game. They should win this game. But laying 8.5 is a lot here spread. And they don't have anybody that's going to be able to cover Brandon Ingram. I know I say that a lot because he is one of the big mismatches in the league. But like we're looking at a Warriors team that's going to send out a bunch of guards, and there's no Wiggins.
And Looney.
Draymond's too slow. Like is Kuminga going to be the guy that comes in and saves the day and stops Brandon Ingram? I don't think so. So
that's probably who they'll match up with him though.
Yeah,
because they're going to want Draymond to roam. They don't want him one-on-one.
I don't think he can cover him though. Like Kuminga's a bigger body, but I don't think he's going to be able to cover Ingram. So I think Ingram has his way. And I think they keep this game pretty close. So I'm on the plus 8.5 here. Give me the Pelicans.
Yeah, we the people's taking them outright. I'm not necessarily.
I love that too.
Yeah, I like that too. I didn't have the balls to do it, but I could see them winning this game.
I mean, this just shows you how the NBA is, right? 2 weeks ago, right, we hated the Pelicans, Tyler. We were trying to fade them every day. Now they won 5 games in a row. They seem to have found, a spark at the right time.
And when Zion shows back up and they storm through the West.
I mean,
you don't really think that's going to happen.
It could happen, spread. Look at the West; it's wide open.
I'm talking about him actually coming back.
That would be a nightmare for Denver right now. Is if the Pelicans are sitting in the 8th seed and they're like, "Hey, by the way, Zion's back." Yeah,
with how Brandon Ingram's playing right now. I mean, he owned Kawhi Leonard the other day. Like owned him.
Yeah, that was.
I could. God,
AP, how are you approaching this game? Tyler and I both like the points. We the people said we should sprinkle on that plus 292 money line. What do you think?
Yeah, so like trying to like take a step back because I'm with you guys on the Pelican side, but like trying to be prudent and look at all angles. My only concern is the Warriors have been awesome at home. Again, I think I bet them against the Timberwolves though, and they lost. So that game was obviously at home just 2 days ago. This Pelicans team looks so good right now, mainly because Brandon Ingram's playing really good. They can go small if they want with, Big Herb. Najee Marshall can come in, play some decent minutes. Trey Murphy's been playing good in his role. Matchup-wise, I think Pelicans are going to be fine. It comes down to Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum doing their thing. And then Joe Val too. Bigs have actually been able to put up some numbers against this Warriors team. So I think this game stays close. I love the idea too of taking a stab at the money line here with the Pels. What are they plus 300 or plus 290, something like that?
Yeah, right around there.
Range.
Yeah, I think that's a sharp bet. So. I mean, the Warriors the missing piece there. Obviously, they're the champs, defending world champs. But I mean, man, without Andrew Wiggins, they definitely need that piece back because Jordan Poole is a liability on defense, and he's also a liability when it comes to turnovers. So, absolute turnover machine, which you can't have dumb turnovers, right? At this point in the season, this game is really important too. Go and look at it; they're right neck and neck in the standings. I think they're, I just had it up.
They're the same record. They're both 39 and 37.
Yep. 7th and 8th spot. So very important game. It's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, and I would argue that Andrew Wiggins was the second best player on the team last year. So I know that Clay, and Dre are the Hall of Famers, right? But the way they're playing right now, Andrew Wiggins was the second best player on the team, and with his ability to defend and how he was rebounding. Especially in that small lineup, they're hurting without him in the lineup. So,
do you think they win another championship with this core AP?
No,
I don't think so either. I think
the NBA
they're
is
in that spot where the Spurs were at after they beat the Heat that last time. We want to keep telling ourselves they're still here, but they're really not.
Yeah. You see it too, like Clay flexing the 4, any chance he can get. I don't think this group wins another one.
All right. That's too bad. Ending this on a sad note. Jeez, Tyler. Way to ruin things.
Oh, well, that's not bad. We need some in the West, the West is kind of stacked. Do you think LeBron
I want one of my 10 favorite teams to win a title here, IP.
All right. So do you think Steph Curry or LeBron win another championship?
I think LeBron over Steph.
I'll take Steph over LeBron.
Because I think there's the possibility that LeBron has a path to a different team where Steph ain't leaving.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Warriors have shown a willingness to spend.
Yeah, but they've spent all their money and like all their other pieces around them right now. It's like, all right, you let Dre walk because what are you going to trade him for? Like nothing. You're stuck with Clay because his legs are gone and his contract's huge. Jordan Poole's going to net you a little bit. Somebody's not going to overpay for that. Yeah. Nobody's falling for these rookies that suck that they blew the draft on Kuminga and Moody. So
Kuminga's sweet. You got to keep him. He's going to be a baller in like 3 years.
Yeah, that's what they've been telling me for 3 years too. So
it's only his second year.
We'll talk about this again in 3 years when he's supposed to still be a baller.
Unbelievable. He's better than Jalen Green.
I don't know about that. One guy's got like 12 30-point games already.
Yeah, because he gets all the usage.
I mean, some guys get to shoot the ball. Some guys are role players.
What about this one here from Sean Lockhart? It's a trick question. They're both winning it all when LeBron goes to Golden State.
That is a good one.
Can you imagine if that happened to me, Tyler? I would be in hell.
Yeah, you would.
I'd have to abandon one of my favorite teams.
That was like my buddy from high school. He hated the Lakers, and then we always told him LeBron was going to end up a Laker, and then he did.
Yeah.
He was not happy that day.
What? Warriors are one of your favorite teams, Fred?
I mean, Tyler teases me because so first of all, yeah, okay, you guys have to admit the Kings have been like a minor league team for like the last 6 years.
Doesn't mean you get to like 35 teams in the league spread.
I usually just like whoever I bet on.
We get to each game. He's like, oh, this is one of my favorite teams.
Yeah, I like basketball.
I'm kind of the same way. So
I like basketball, right? I mean,
the problem is if you have a team, then you're just known as the homer to that team, which we know me and the football.
And I've said clearly that the Kings are my favorite team. But to be fair, they haven't done anything as of note for 16 years. Tyler, the last time the Kings were good, you were like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at least the Knicks made it here and there, right? You guys made it 2 years ago to get embarrassed by the Hawks.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what's going to happen to us this year? I'm kind of worried we're going to have, right? Because I feel like we're kind of doing that Knicks deal where we're just going all out for the regular season.
What I pray to the basketball gods this happen because I think we'll get some dumb people that want to back them. I pray to God that Dallas makes a late push and they get the 7 seed or what would they need? They would need the 6 seed. So I don't think they're getting all the way back up to the 6. But like the Kings matching up with the Timberwolves right now spread. They could beat the Timberwolves in a series. But the matchup I would want would be Dallas coming into the playoffs on a little bit of a run. Everyone thinks Dallas.
I don't want to go against Luka.
I think they smashed Dallas. How are they covering Sabonis? And Fox is going to run right past their entire defense.
I don't know. Luka will just go nuclear. Jonathan Nelson misspelled referees here in this comment. Said last time the Kings were good, they were getting bounced on the playoffs by the Lakers. No. It was by the organized crime, Jonathan Nelson. Yeah. So the T-Wolves have beat us 3 times. Is that what you're saying? Unbelievable.
God, T-Wolves. That's just crazy.
What do you guys think about this comment by We the People here? Do you think that Dallas and the Heat are the 2 worst teams to watch?
I think the Heat definitely the worst team to watch.
Yeah, I don't know about Dallas. I mean, Luka's so fun. I mean, if you just close your eyes every time he's whining. Oh, Philly's the worst.
I rank Philly pretty far up there.
Yeah, I would say Philly's the worst team to watch, then Miami. Oh my gosh, you see I'm still catching Android slander in the chat?
Uncle T's in here.
For Uncle T.
and so, you know what? Thank you, Uncle T. I'm going to talk about this real quick. As you guys outcast people on Android.
We need the guys in the chat's thoughts on this too. We got 92 people in here. How many of these guys got Androids and how many of these guys got iPhones?
And this is what happens because I live in California, Silicon Valley, Northern California, where this is all born, right? And what they do is they want to divide the people, right? So that's why Apple put this little thing in there, right? So that way like for example, I don't know if you have an iPhone when you text me, right? Mine's colorblind, man of the people, right? No delineation, right? So here's what happens. You start to hate people with Androids. You leave them out of your group chats, right? Now take a trip to San Francisco where this started. Next thing, you're going to have people living in tents on the street, right? Needles everywhere. It's just terrible. Don't go down that road. Embrace all of humanity. All right. Thank you. Jonathan Nelson and I.
You got like 4 guys in the chat on your side.
Yeah. All 4 of them.
You guys can start an Android.
Look at all these Android people. And they're winners too. Like we the people putting winners in his Android phone every night. Oh, I love it.
I love the political angle there. Spread.
It's how it happens. First thing you're leaving Android guys out of your group chat. Next thing you know, you got just.
I mean, there is nothing worse than like you're in a group chat and one person has the Android, and then like someone makes a comment.
What's so bad about
it? And then I'm saying when people start reacting to that comment, because then it comes in as text messages over and over and over again. And then on our side, you get the double dings, and it's just like, oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's what messes it all up, Spread, is when you got the Android in group messages, we get double messages.
What do you mean?
Because the iPhones all link to each other in those group messages to where your Android's just kind of hanging out.
You're trying to exclude people. You guys see, we the people knows. They're too close to the government, man.
Everything's the government.
Everything is yeah.
So finally, the chat agrees with me.
You realize doesn't Android come from Microsoft? And Microsoft
they're all intertwined.
Yeah, so they're all intertwined. So it's like you just work your way back up.
All right.
Except for TikTok, that's China.
That has nothing to do with anything. AP.
All right. Well, on that note, let's give out the plays of the day. Tyler, let's start with you. What's your play of the day?
I'm going to go to prop. Give me Tyus Jones over 23.5 points plus assist.
All right. Tyus Jones over 23.5 points plus assist.
Yep.
All right. My Android play of the day, Memphis Grizzlies. There's a parade in their city. I finally heard that song. I asked some kid at work to play it for me. I didn't think it was that good. Am I old, Tyler? Is that a good song?
I don't like his music, so.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I always think he's screaming at me, and he's like the aggressive kid in school that always got sent to like
who
the in-school suspension from NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah. Although to be fair, I heard some of his older stuff before he got famous, and I thought it was good. He was actually like rapping, but then he got bad. Anyways, my point is the Memphis Grizzlies are -6.5. I think they win by double digits. That's my Android play of the day.
The green text play of the day.
The green text play of the day. Right. Yeah, green, because you're going to make money. You're going to make money.
I like that.
Text play of the day. Tyler, we have to make up a video. Let's go ahead, AP. Give me your play of the day.
I got to go Boston. We talked about it enough. Just come on, this Wizards team. There's zero chance this game stays close. Boston -11 is where I'm at.
All right. And my brother in Android, best bet, Tatum double-double and win. And he's adding the Pelicans money line.
Ooh.
I love it. Just like our text, we the people, you're going to be seeing a bunch of green tonight with those plays. All right, AP. Hey, stay on after the show, though, if you have a chance. I have a couple questions for you. But we're going to go ahead and let you get us out of here with some words of wisdom and letting everyone know what's going on at Run Pure.
Yeah, so we have obviously opening day. Uncle T in chat right there, one of our key baseball people. Opening day, going to be a ton of fun. We got a show early that morning. I am going to try to get on with with Jordan from Saber Sim tomorrow at some point to go over the Sims and all the Saber Sim stuff that they do for baseball. So it's going to be a ton of fun, tons of content up and coming. It's a good time to be a member at Run Pure Sports.